Before we get started, I just want to be upfront and let you guys know this is a collaboration between me and Crossrope. They sent me the amp handles free of charge in exchange for an honest review. The main reason I agreed to do this review is because I already use their products. I got my original set back in 2020. The global pandemic hit, tennis courts of all things were closed, and I needed another option for cardio. After watching a few videos by jump rope dudes, I was convinced. Just 3 years later, it's my turn to introduce you to Crossrope AMP. Crossrope's Bluetooth connected jump rope with real-time stats and feedback. If you're not familiar with Crossrope, it's very simple. You have a set of handles. These handles connect to ropes of varying weights, and that's pretty much it. It's a very modular product, which is cool because you can buy as little or as much as you want. You could start with one rope, use that for a few months, and then buy another one when you're ready for it. Detach, reattach, and jump. So because of that modular nature, the only real difference with AMP, other than the real-time stats and feedback, which we'll get to in a minute, is the handles. The AMP handles are clearly labeled with an AMP logo, so there's no room for confusion if you do have another set of Crossrope handles. There are 3 different sets of the Crossrope AMP. You can just get the handles themselves if you already have ropes. There's the full set, which comes with a 1/4 pound, 1/2 pound, and 1 pound rope in addition to the AMP handles. And then finally, there's the ropeless AMP set, which comes with the AMP handles and the ropeless attachment, so there is no rope swinging around while you're trying to be quiet in your apartment. The handles themselves are a little bit different than the old strong set that I had from 2020, which I do believe they have redesigned since then, but you'll notice the AMP handles have a little bit more of an ergonomic and hourglass shape. The old strong ones were just kind of this bulbous, fat, round shape, which wasn't the worst, but now that I have the AMP handles, I much prefer it. This little hourglass groove right there is where my thumb rests. It feels very comfortable, and even though they are a little bit heavier, they actually do feel much nicer in my hand while I'm jumping, so I actually am a fan of the little added weight. And if you're wondering exactly how much heavier they are, well, I did the work and weighed them for you. The AMP handles come in at 162 grams each compared to the 149 grams of the power handles. Now, only one of the AMP handles actually has a battery inside of it, so the fact that they both weigh exactly the same shows the attention to detail from Crossrope, and it's also nice from a usability standpoint because there is no imbalance as you're jumping, which would be very annoying if there was a 10, 20, 30 gram difference between the handles. I was a little worried at first because when I unscrewed the cap to my AMP handle, I noticed there was a battery inside, but thankfully, it turns out batteries with a USB port exist, and that's how you charge it. AMP handles do come with a recharging cable, but in the event that you were to lose it, it's a very common micro USB, so there's no need to worry about some proprietary cable. Very user-friendly, nice to have a common charging port. So now let's move on to the real meat and potatoes of AMP, which is the Bluetooth connectivity and the real-time stats and feedback that you get when you pair it with the Crossrope app. As far as setup goes, I'm always a little concerned whenever something uses Bluetooth because it rarely just works. Even with Apple products, I run into some connectivity issues and it's a little frustrating, but surprisingly, somehow with AMP, it just works. And just to show you how quick and easy this is, I actually did a screen recording on my phone. You can hear me click the power button and you'll see it light up that it's paired. It's very quick, very fast. Here it is. Now, one really nice feature here, and I don't even know if it was intentional, is that when you close the Crossrope app, when you're done jumping, you close the app, it automatically turns the handles off. This is really nice because I never want to be in a situation where I grab my AMP handles, turn them on, only to realize that they have a dead battery due to my carelessness, rather than due to me just being a psycho and working out all the time. Quality of life touches like that are really just the cherry on top of an already good product. Now, once you're set up, unlike the original Crossrope, you're going to be spending a lot of time in the Crossrope app because that's what allows you to leverage the Bluetooth connectivity to get all of the real-time feedback, which is why you're thinking about buying this thing, right? According to Crossrope, there's over 2,000 different workouts in the app. And one of the really nice things is that when you choose one and you scroll down, they show little videos of all the different styles of jumps that you're going to be doing before you even start the workout, but those are also shown to you live as you're jumping as well. One of the big benefits with AMP is that when you're using it, you have data to go with your jump rope session, and you can use this data to track your progress. I talk about this a lot with strength training, the importance of logging your lifts so that you know you're getting stronger over time. But when it came to cardio and jump rope, it was just something that I did for 20 or 30 minutes. That was really the only number I could take away from it because I wasn't counting every jump in my head. And some days 20 minutes felt easy, and some days 20 minutes felt really hard. Without data to back that up, it's kind of a guessing game. Was my pace the same on both days? Was I subconsciously pushing it harder on one day versus the other? You know, jumping faster or slower than I thought I was? With AMP's dashboard and your historical record, you can get answers to those questions. And you know this is in the thought of Crossrope because they have a specific mode just for this called the benchmark mode. This is a great way to test yourself and track your progress over time. So on day one with your AMP, you could maybe see how many jumps you can do in 30 seconds or how quickly you can hit 1,000 jumps. After a few weeks of training, you could come back, do that exact same benchmark test, and see how much progress you've made. Overall, the experience is amazing. Everything just works. And I think the most important part about AMP is it's not trying too hard. What I mean by that is it's not trying to reinvent the jump rope. It simply takes what you already do and adds numbers to it. Compare that to something like Tonal, which tries to scale the weights and the resistance for you based on some internal algorithm I don't have a ton of faith in. I'm usually an early adopter with technology, but with smart fitness, I'm not. I like the simple stuff. A watch that tells me my heart rate or how many steps I hit in a day. Quantifying what I already do rather than trying to change what I do and how I do it with a black box of proprietary technology where the magic, if there even is any, is only known by the developers who made it. One day, I'm sure that technology will exist. I'm just not sure now is the right time. The one downside here is that you do need a subscription to the Crossrope app, which right now is at a promotional launch price of $9.99 a month. I get it, Crossrope is a business, they have to make money. I just wish there was some sort of freemium type model here, where maybe the benchmark mode or the free jump mode was free, but then everything else was behind the paywall. I feel like that'd be a pretty good compromise between the business and the consumer, where the consumer at least gets some of the Bluetooth insights without needing to pay a monthly subscription. But then there also is a lot of other features they get access to if they decide to sign up for a membership. So, should you buy Crossrope AMP? Personally, I think the only question that should really influence your decision is the price. It is a higher price point compared to other jump ropes out there, but if you're watching this video, you're probably already somewhat interested in AMP. If the workouts and the real-time tracking look fun and interesting to you, and you think that those will help you stay more consistent with fitness, then I say go for it. Product quality and reliability should not even be an issue here. When the AMP arrives, you're not going to open it and think like, man, this feels cheap. I feel like I got something off of AliExpress. I promise that's not gonna happen. It's a well-made, high-quality product that just works, and the price is merely a reflection of that. Mitch Hedberg once said,
I like an escalator, man, because an escalator can never break. It can only become stairs.
Crossrope AMP is a smart fitness equivalent of an escalator. It can never break. It can only become a jump rope. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any questions or concerns about Crossrope AMP, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. And if you'd like to save 15% on your set of Crossrope AMP or any product on the Crossrope store, then you can click the link in the description or use code ADAM to save 15% off of your order. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking the video and maybe even subscribing to the channel for future reviews like this. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.